I have a movement impairment that started when I was 45, or at least I was diagnosed when I was 45. Prior to that, I was a general surgeon. I graduated from medical school in 1989, on top of the world. I went to general surgery residency for 5 years, came out in 1994, the pinnacle. But then, in October 1997, it was gone. That's when everything went away. That's when I lost my head. I lost everything that I had worked for, everything that identified me as me. Not only because the disorder was taking some of my abilities away, decision making and movement and dexterity, but knowing that there was nothing I could do about it. Many of the neurodegenerative disorders, there's no treatment for them. There's no cure for them. And many of us are told there's no help. There's no hope. There's nothing you can do but live according to what the disorder is going to do to you, how it's going to change your life. You start with these minor symptoms, and then because of the disorder, some of us will lose our movement abilities and then have to start using a cane and then a walker because you fall so much because you're so uncoordinated. And some go into a wheelchair. Some, their life is foreshortened, and some it is not. And fortunately for me, my variant of the disorder is not life-threatening or life-shortening, but it is life-stealing.
I just feel robbed. My life was taken away from me. Well, I feel like there is nothing to do about it. You can't fight, it's just gonna happen. You just have to give it its time to run its course.
Lost my independence. Yeah. I mean, I lost my confidence and my ability to get around.
Yeah, I lost me.
Yeah.
They diagnosed me with spinocerebellar ataxia. I said, okay, what's next? And he's like, well, there's nothing we can do for you, which is what a lot of people tend to hear.
They always said there's nothing you can do, and just to live your life as best you can. But that was all they really said.
Nobody told me about other treatments.
Watching her decline over the years, it's been difficult. We were told there was nothing that we could do and to just keep her safe. So to keep her safe, we kept her in a chair where she couldn't fall. And so we set up things around the chair to keep her safe. But all that did was really make her worse because it didn't force her to use her muscles.
Everybody wants to belong. And when we walk, talk, move to where we're not noticed by anybody else, that's our normal. We all strive to be just normal. When you lose that ability to feel normal, that's when the hiding kicks in. In their life, you take the quote-unquote normal people, those people that don't have a problem. What do they want? They all list all kinds of different things, money, fame, or success, you know, a good career, a good marriage, and different things. Until your ability to blend in is taken away, until your normal way of functioning is taken away. And then all you want is, I just want my normal back. I want to be able to function as I did when I was younger, when I didn't have to think about my movements, when I didn't have to be reminded by somebody of how my speech was, when I didn't trip, when I didn't have to hide anymore, when I didn't have any fear of going to a restaurant or a crowded place, or going shopping at the mall or whatever, or going for a walk out in the woods in the park. All we want is to get that back.
Yeah, I had been diagnosed, and I told my family, don't tell anyone, don't talk about this diagnosis. Like, I don't want to become known as like the sick kid.
I was at the point where I was falling almost daily, so just being able to stand unassisted and stand being stable, I had very low expectations.
Diagnosed with something like this, no treatment, no cure, no help, no hope, you start to live the darkness of it. Everything is slowly taken away. Quickly at first, and then slowly other things just start to be sucked away. You become a self-imposed social isolate. What I found was how I could correct some of my mistakes. I had to reteach myself movements so I could correct some of the mistakes I thought were uncorrectable. I was able to get much of my normal back because I figured out the natural process of how to correct the mistakes, or what was actually causing the mistakes.
Tom has ataxia, and that's probably the most important part of it, because it always kind of baffles me how these people who don't have ataxia, like they've read about it in a book, are gonna claim that they're gonna be able to help us.
It takes somebody like Tom, unfortunately, him being a doctor and getting ataxia, because Tom has those same feelings, the same conditions, and developed this program through trial and error on himself, and he is now able to share that with so many, and has helped so many and provided hope to so many who are pretty much hopeless, and actually being able to do some things that you thought you would never be able to do again.
Medical community, which I was a part of, we see the patients come into our office, and they start here, and all of them end up somewhere here. It's just a matter of how long it takes them to get there. And everything that happens is because of the disorder in our head. There are direct effects of the disorder, things that nobody can change. The indirect effects of the disorder, those effects that we start to invoke, or out of bad habits, we start doing things that make the direct effects worse. Those we can do something about, because without the progression of the disorder, their movement problems won't progress. I learned how to feel the pressure in my feet by trial and error on my own. But I learned what that pressure actually is. I learned how to control the pressures on my feet to control my movements.
It should be intuitive, but we never pay attention. I mean, it's just so natural for other people, you know, that something so simple just escapes us because we never had the need to look at it.
Listen to Tom, because he's the expert in all of this. And he's proven it over and over and over again with many different people. It's not, and many different disorders. It's not even just one disorder. It works for lots of them and all ages.
Normal people have the ability to control the pressures on their feet without thought. Normal people have the ability to control their mistakes or to correct their mistakes without thought. Just happens. I learned how to correct my mistakes. That's how I came to reclaim a lot of my natural ability, reclaiming my normal. Normal is not being afraid of, in this case, your movement ability. So when I'm working with people, I am teaching them how to restabilize on their feet, how to, according to the pressures on their feet, and all those abilities that they already know start coming back. When you can control the pressures on your feet and relax into those pressures in your feet, your body will self-adjust, and that's natural movement.